What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be explaining if you should play anime adventures or not. Now, a lot of people probably are going to either agree with me or disagree with me, so that's probably gonna be the majority. It's probably gonna be no middle. So, let's get started. First things first, is it worth it to play anime adventures because of the grind? Is the grind worth it? To be honest, let me explain if it is or isn't. So first of all, first things first, the grind and anime adventures is kind of very similar to All-Star Tower Defense. I mean, these two games, you can compare them, and a lot of people, okay, let me turn this volume down anyway. And a lot of people will compare these games, and because basically All-Star Tower Defense, they got, Anime Adventures got their inspiration from All-Star Tower Defense. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. I thought everybody would know that. But that's why a lot of the systems that are in Anime Adventures are also in All-Star Tower Defense. So it's kind of similar, but I feel like the grind Anime Adventures is way harder. I mean, I know you have to do raids and stuff in All-Star Tower Defense, but a lot of the raids in All-Star Tower Defense, you can most likely go in the raid chat and look up, and you can easily do that. I mean, you just have to be consistent, and you might find a team that's bad, but in Anime Adventures, you straight up gotta, especially these newer units, like the older units, the grind A wasn't even that bad, completely honest. You just had to get a bunch of star fruits, and you had to get the 40 of the food item of that map, and you could evolve the unit. Except if it was like a secret, a mythical that you could evolve into a secret, then you would have to do a lot more. But it wasn't as bad before, but now I feel like it's much worse than it used to be, because it's also much harder. Like, think about old Anime Adventures. If you like, this is for people that haven't played Anime Adventures, obviously, and if you're thinking about playing it, old Anime Adventures was not that grindy. If I was making this video back then, I was like, oh, is Anime Adventures grindy, and is it okay to play even if it's grindy? The grind in old Anime Adventures was not bad. Like, it was not bad. It was way better than All-Star Tower Defense. But the grind now was kind of crazy. I mean, to get Jolene, which is an old unit, like an older unit, I had to grind. I mean, the raids, you can obviously get a group to these ones. I'm not going to compare with that. I'm talking about if you're doing if you're doing infinite mode for certain acts. Like, for example, people most likely aren't going to do alien infinite mode to help you evolve Metal Knight. You have to hop servers, and obviously I help people, but not everybody's going to help you. So most of the time you need good units, and also it's all about luck, to be honest. I mean, the same thing goes with All-Star Tower Defense, but you're guaranteed to get a drop. I could go 90 waves in Alien Infinite mode and not get a portal. Like, that's kind of crazy. And also, talking about grindiness, the One Piece units were also very grindy. All of them require Spile Fruits, and if you played the One Piece update, all those units are worth it, and they're still good to this day. Luffy isn't too good. I mean, Luffy is good. All the units in the One Piece up there are still, you can still use them today, and they'll still be useful. You just need a decent trait on them, and even without a decent trait, they're still good. But the grind used to be insane. 40 Smile Fruits, and you had to grind puppet portals for real. And that was the same thing with the old update, the One Punch Man update. You had to grind a lot, and I do agree, it was kind of grindy. So if I'm being completely honest, if you're not a person who's up to the grind and does not want to grind this game 24/7, this is not the game for you. But if you like the units in this game, then you have to grind to get them. I mean, the old units are pretty easy to get. And when I mean old, I mean the maps all the way up to about Clover Kingdom, I think. I mean, Clover Kingdom's still kind of grindy. Not as grindy as right now. I think it might actually be. I forgot, but because it's been a while. But in terms of grinding, I don't think you genuinely want to play. But no, I'm saying if you're up to it, then you're okay. You should be okay. If you're a person who loves grinding and has nothing else to do, then this game is definitely the game for you, because you're going to be grinding 24/7. Anyways, next category. Alright, so the next category is a category that I think is very important to this game, and it's about the units. Is it worth it to play this game for the units? Are the units effects look cool? Does the units effects look cool? I can actually showcase some of the units effects right now. I'll showcase Law's effects. So, okay, so this is how some of the effects in this game are actually really cool. I mean, I think they probably are better than All-Star Tower Defenses. So let me show you Law's effect. Look at that. It's just a normal slash, but when you upgrade it more, look how cool that looks. Then you got yet another upgrade, which is his counter shock upgrade. He'll be getting it in a second. Just give me a second. Okay, just a little bit longer. Come on. And look at that. Look at how cool this looks. I mean, it seems plain, and compared to All-Star Tower Defense, it might not look as well. But that was just an example of a unit that his effects are decent. But there are a lot of units that have a lot better effects. And for example, I can't think of a unit off the top of my head, but there are a lot of units that have really good effects. And if you want to play this game for the effects, I'm pretty sure it would be worth it. I mean, the effects in this game, like I said, probably better than All-Star Tower Defenses. I'm just going to keep it a stack, even though I'm really biased toward All-Star Tower Defense, like extremely biased. I would love to say All-Star Tower Defense is better in terms of effects, but I just can't lie to y'all like that. So if y'all are playing this game for units, and you want to see, and the units look cool and all, yeah, they look cool, especially the cosmetics. I like the cosmetics probably more than All-Star Tower Defense. Both their cosmetics are cool and all, but I feel like Anime Adventures is cooler. I mean, some of the units effects some of the units that should have cosmetics don't have cosmetics, but you know, I mean, yeah, don't have cosmetics, but it's okay because they still look cool, the units that have them. Like, tradables, most likely, I think almost all tradables have a cosmetic that appears on your body. Like, Boros has like a little aura that kind of looks like you're in Super Saiyan or going Super Saiyan. It looks kind of cool all around. But, next section. So, actually, before I go on to the next section, yes, this game is worth it if you're doing it for the units. But you gotta grind for the unit's effects. I mean, you could just get the unit in its base stats. I mean, you don't have to evolve every single unit you get, but it's better if you evolve the unit than having it non-evolve. So, that's my opinion. Next up. Alright. So, next thing is, okay. Is it worth it to play this game in terms of, like, is it worth your time to grind for the leaderboard? Like, for example, All-Star Tower Defense has a leaderboard, and you get rewarded for being on the leaderboard. Is it worth it for grinding on that leaderboard? Because I know a lot of the Tower Defense games have leaderboards, and you might be like, oh, will this Tower Defense game give me good rewards if I play on the leaderboard? And being completely honest, this game is probably worth it when it comes to that. I mean, I do genuinely think it's worth it when it comes to that. I mean, some of the leaderboard units you get are very high valued, but that's back then in Anime Adventures. You used to the first ever leaderboard unit was a unit that has a bunch of value in trading right now. And it's really, and that's the next topic I'm going to talk about, trading. But leaderboard is, there's also multiple leaderboards like tournament or infinite mode. Both of them are pretty cool. I don't know if you still get units for, hold on, give me a second. I don't know if you still get units for being like top 10 or just on the leaderboard for infinite mode. But if you do, then yeah, because a lot of the units look pretty cool, and all the leaderboard units look pretty cool. But if you're talking about tournament is also a leaderboard, and it does give you a lot of things that will help you in the game in general. like star remnants, and I'll go over what all these things are in the last section, which is just generally. But star remnants, which can help you reroll traits, which are a very big part of this game, and just all around things that can help you in this game get better units and make your units better. So yeah, if you're trying to grind this game for the tournament modes, then I would probably say if you're grinding this game for the tournament modes, yeah, it's worth it, yeah, because it's really helpful, but you have to get good units before you can do the tournament mode, which is basically for every tower defense game, you need good units, so obviously that's a no-brainer, but it's just good to know. So, all in all, yep, it's cool to play this game if you're trying to get on leaderboard. It's good. The leaderboard units or just the leaderboard in general is good to be on, and it just helps you. So, yep, next section. Now, next section is trading. Trading is an interesting thing. In most tower defense games, trading is an interesting thing. Mostly because trading requires you to do a lot of stuff and grinding. I mean, I probably should have put that in the grinding section as well. But trading is really, really... I heard it can be annoying. I don't do trading that much because I don't go on the... I'm not that tuned into it, but... First of all, my experience of trading, I usually just go into servers and ask who wants to trade. But if you're trying to trade like that, you're not going to get any trades. Like, if you're not in a Discord server, then you're most likely not going to get any trades. I mean, if you're trying to play this game in trading and try to get good units in trading without a Discord server, it's going to be a very big pain. I mean, a huge pain. I'm stuck with Unohana, which is B tier, and there's like 2 more tiers, B minus tier, I think, and there's a lot more tiers actually. So yeah, you can be stuck with trash units, or you can be stuck with units that will become higher value in the future. So honestly, trading is kind of hard to do unless you have a Discord server, like I said. But if you do have a Discord server and you're trying to trade, I mean, it is actually it's kind of difficult when you're stuck with units that nobody wants. Like, let's say you're stuck with only a Kisuke, which is a unit from a long time ago, which is now tradable, but which is not tradable. If you're stuck with that unit, you're going to be trading for a long while. Honestly, because a lot of people probably won't want that unit. He's still like, for example, units you're stuck with, if they have an ability, your chances of getting a trade for them are a little bit higher. But if the unit just straight up is tradable and it doesn't have a good ability, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, because nobody's probably gonna want that unit unless they genuinely like it as a character, or it has a cool cosmetic. That's the only other reason besides it being it being a good unit, having high trading value, or just having a skill or a clickable skill. But let's talk about if you have high units. Actually, this is for, like I said, this is a guide for people that are just playing this game. So you're most likely not going to get the best units, but there are limited units you can get from the banner. There's a unit called Heathcliff you can get from the banner, so that can help you out in trading if you get a shiny version of him. It's very useful, so... What? Yeah. Same. I have no idea what Whataburger is. I just said it because, you know, I'm trying to talk English a lot. But anyways, trading, if you're playing this game because you're trying to trade to get good units, you're most likely going to be trading forever, which goes in the grinding section. If you don't like grinding, then you shouldn't do it. But if you really, really want a unit in this game and you want to trade for it and you're willing to take up with the grind, it's worth it. So right now, Anime Adventures, it probably doesn't seem like a game you might not... It seems like a game you might not want to play. But trust me, when I get into later sections, you're probably gonna change your mind. At least I hope you will. I mean, this game's pretty cool. So, stick around and you'll see if you like the game or not. Next section. Anyways, this is the last section, which is just general, obviously. All around, I'm gonna just be explaining what the game is, what you even do in the game, because a lot of people might be like, yo, what do I even do in this game? You're explaining stuff that I don't even know what it is. But like, just explain the game to me generally. Anime Adventures is a tower defense game. If you don't know what a tower defense game is, it's basically a game that, let's say you have a big tower, alright, and you need troops to, like, people to defend the tower, obviously. Like, if you're in a war and you're trying to protect a certain place or building, and you need to protect it from the enemy army, then you need better people to protect the base. So that's basically what it is. Now let's just say what Anime Adventures is. Let me continue. It's a tower defense game like others where you need to collect units, and you can do things that I just stated: be on the leaderboard, get good rewards, trade, and play story mode or infinite mode. I'll explain what all those are right now. So, first things first, when you go into Anime Adventures, you will get a random unit. I don't know if it can only be a rare unit, which is a rarity of a unit. I believe there are 3, no, not 3. I believe there are 6 rarities. Legendary, mythical. There are 5 rarities, I'm sorry. There are 5 rarities, and I think it can only be rare out of those rarities, which is the lowest, and most likely the weakest out of all the rarities. So, it can only, I believe it can only be rare, but I could be wrong. But that's from what I know. Anyways, once you spawn in the game with a random unit, you have a choice to go either summon. Actually, you have a choice to either redeem codes, which can give you rewards that will help you in the game, or you can play story mode, which is a mode that basically is the story of an anime. Any anime, it can be any anime, whatever anime the developers decided to put in the game. For example, Planet Namek is the first infinite mode, story mode, which is Dragon Ball Z, if you didn't know. And that's the anime. This game, obviously called Anime Adventures, is only based off animes, and that's what the story modes are. Stories of the animes. So this is based on the Namek arc. It's either it's Namek Saga. The Namek Saga of Dragon Ball Z, I believe. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. The Namek Saga of Dragon Ball Z. And basically, you just protect your base from units, like you see on screen right now. And you see what I'm doing. You place units down on the green spots. Like, for example, you have 2 types of units that you can place down to protect your base. You have ground units, which you can place on the ground, anywhere on the ground that isn't a red spot. You have ground units and air units. For example, a ground unit like Shigaraki, you can place on the ground anywhere that isn't red. So if I were to place them on the path that I'm standing on, this glowing path, it would show red. This would be red, his whole area would be red, and that means you can't place it there. But if I were to, for example, place Jolene, if I were to place Jolene right here, it would show blue, and that means I could place her right there. If it shows red, you can't place it there. Like, for example, since Jolene is a ground unit, you can't place her on the hills. If she was a hill unit, you could place her on the hills. But like I said, since she's a ground unit, you can't place her there. But a hill unit like Fujitora, you can place on the hills. Meaning it attacks hills and ground units. Ground units, like you probably already know, like you probably should have picked up on by now, can only attack grounded units that are on the ground. Now, there are also flying enemies, which are units that have the title right next to their health, like right here, Bandit Leader, and they'll have their health, fly. It'll say fly right here, right next to their health. and that means your ground units will not be able to attack them. Only hill units like Fujitora will be able to attack them. So yeah, that's just a quick breakdown of hill units and ground units. You also have hybrid units, which some hybrid units you can place on hill and ground. Other hybrid units they are able to attack hill and ground from upgrading them, meaning hybrid units are units you place on the ground, but over time while you upgrade them, an upgrade will allow them to attack air and ground. These units are one of the best units are the best type of units in the game, in my opinion. And they usually have pretty good damage. And the units with the lowest amount of damage are hill units, but that is because they can attack hill and ground off the start, which meaning they are great for starting off. In modes. I mean, not great for starting off, but that means there are units that you can place them and they'll attack hill and ground, so you don't necessarily need a ground unit. But ground units have the highest damage in the game. They have the highest damage in the game. Like Jolene, this is unique, which is a trait that you can get on her from the trait reeling machine. I'll go all into that later, but see right here, these are fly enemies. Oh, it's under their health on the left side. Okay, under their health, it'll show fly right there. That's how you know they're fly enemies. Anyways, like I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, ground units have the highest damage in the game out of all the units, which means they are great for damaging, like an infinite mode or whatnot. They're great for infinite mode, and just really any mode. They're great starters. So, next thing you need to know is that ranges and SPA, which stands for second per attack. That's what I think. I think it stands for that, but range, damage, and SPA. So, SPA, or second per attack, is how many seconds it takes for that unit to do its damage, which is the number amount of how much it does. Like, for example, you see all the health of these of the people trying to attack our base. This guy has 87,000, and Jolene does 100,000 damage. So this guy, if he didn't have shields, which I'll go into that later, then he would have been defeated or just died, because Jolene does more damage than his health. So that's a breakdown. Another thing is, like, for example, if a unit has shields, then it depends how much shields a unit has. If a unit has multiple shields and if an enemy has multiple shields and a unit is a single hit, which means it only does its attack once. Like, for example, Jolene is a multi-hit, and look, she hits her damage, she does damage multiple times, meaning she hits multiple times, meaning she breaks shields. She's a shield breaker, meaning she'll be useful for units like this that have shields, like 2 shields. She hits 3 times, so she can break 3 shields, and she's a very good shield unit. If a unit has shields, then it'll basically stop you from doing your damage. Like, look, this is yellow health, which basically is health, but your damage does less damage to the yellow health, and it basically blocks you from dealing damage to the red health, which is the main health bar, and how you are able to defeat every single unit. If you aren't not able to defeat if you're not able to take down the red health, then you cannot take down the enemy, meaning the enemy will attack your base and you will achieve defeat. So yeah, and range is basically how far a unit can attack from. And also, I'm probably gonna be doing a part 2 to this video. This is gonna be part 1, and then I'll do the rest of the general stuff in part 2, because this is gonna be kind of long. I need to upload another video today, so that's probably why. And like I was saying, range is how far a unit can attack. So, for example, I think it doesn't. It does not go by studs. But in this map is obviously bigger in game than what you're looking at. It's supposed to be much bigger, because it's supposed to be much bigger. So this is just, I think it's the studs in game, how many studs in game this unit attacks from. So like, for example, Jolene attacks 29 studs in game, not in real life, in game. So basically here, it starts here and goes all the way over here. So this circle you're seeing, this is how much area she covers and where she can attack. Another thing, the last thing I want to go over is paths. So paths, not obviously, but paths are where units come out from. So for example, you see this glowing path? The units come out from here, and you see they're following the turns and whatnot. They go all the way to your base, which is over here. And you see this right here, this green health on the top of the screen, that's how much health your base has. If your base health goes to 0 out of how much health it used to have, which is for the virtual castle, which is a story mode, it would be 64,426. If it's at 0 out of that, then you also experience defeat. So yeah, that's basically a general breakdown. Also, like I said, paths, it won't always be glowing, but it'll be a pathway that you should be able to see. And when you start the game, right, there should be a start button before you start the game that'll be like start, and you could either say yes or no. I actually pressed no. I don't even know what no does. I think it's supposed to teleport you back to lobby, but I could be wrong, because it doesn't do that when I press no. But if you press yes, then the arrows will go away, which the arrows are supposed to show you where the enemies are coming out from, so you know where to place your units. And oh yeah, I'll cover this last thing and then I'm done. So bosses are the units that spawn on the last wave, which you see right here, wave 15. In story mode, there are only 15 waves. There are modes, like infinite mode, there's an infinite amount of waves. And in legend stages, which are stages that you get from completing certain story modes, and you unlock them, they have 20 waves. So yeah, that's just a breakdown of Anime Adventures Part 1. And I might upload Part 2 today, but I'm planning on just uploading a different video besides this. But if y'all want to see Part 2 of this, which I will upload as soon as this video gets at least 2 likes. So see you on the next video, and peace.